What's going on, guys? It's your host KSDTV here, and today we have another banger for you. Now, last time I've covered some Torchlight Infinite content, well, it's been a minute. I definitely say it's definitely been a minute. But today I want to actually sit back, relax from doing the guides, some of the other videos on the Torchlight Infinite. We need to talk about Season 2. Season 1 was the Dark Surge event, and Torchlight devs have gave us 2 dev blogs, so this is a 2-parter, Dev Blog 23 and Dev Blog 24, and there's a lot of new stuff regarding Season 2, so let's definitely jump into it. I am currently on TapTap. So from first things first, I had actually a commenter on one of my videos ask about controller support, and I was actually able to talk to one of the members of part of Torchlight Infinite, and he said maybe. He didn't know fully about whether they were going to, so let's actually see what they said here. So they said, we've been offering a PC version of the game since the 3rd closed beta test, which I have that video actually, I have it in the top right hand corner, but we know that everyone is keen to play the game with a controller, so we have definitely added controller support in the upcoming season, which would be Season 2. You can choose your preferred mode of operation, whether on PC or mobile. However, there may still be adaptation problems in the game, and of course they will like feedback on experiencing. So to answer to anybody, yes, there will be controller support whether you are on PC or whether you're on mobile. Just make sure you have, of course, the right controller to be able to do so. Other than that, that's actually a pretty banger update for Season 2, really. I know a lot of people were quite upset, and they're like, where's the controller support? And I am part of the Discord, so I definitely seen a lot of those comments flood there. All the times I've made videos regarding Torchlight Infinite, people were asking for controller support. So this is definitely a banger update. Let's move on to the next one. So robot training, which essentially, if you are in the Ember's Rest, you can basically test out all of your abilities and stuff like that on this particular robot and see how much DPS you can occur. So it says we have Invincible number 2. So they have noticed that from the recent community post that many hunters are wondering why we have attached limits to the maximum DPS that they can record. So they have a view on that. So last thing they want is people to take DPS as the only standard to measure a battle style. It will be much preferred if you don't take it as the only goal in the game either, which in my opinion, there's a lot that goes into RPGs to be exact, and I actually agree with that. I know it reminds me of Call of Duty, right? Anybody who's played Call of Duty or any shooter, Battlefield, Battlefront, anything like that, people always cared about their kill-death ratio. Now, don't get me wrong, I got high amount of kills, low deaths, you know, I got that 2-point KD, I got that 3-point KD, but it's not always what makes your playstyle. It's not what makes the game. There's a lot more other things that play into it, and I can see where the devs are coming from with the DPS. Like, everybody's so hooked on the fact that DPS, but what about survivability? What about mobility? What about how I can be able to take care of, like, speed through things? You know what I mean? Like, there's other attributes that play into it. So they did say they encourage everyone to focus on exploring the game mechanics and character growth while forming a battle style. They also help you look at the style at different angles, so the controls of the style, smoothness, survivability, the ability to make AoE attacks, and the cost of the builds, which plays a part. And I actually have a couple builds like the Iuga Erosion build. I know a lot of people were commenting on, like, I was slow, but I'm like, that's not the point of this build. Like, I know a lot of other Torchlight Infinite creators have made, like, how to speed run through this and stuff, but I looked at it a different way. I was looking at, like, how much poison and erosion and corrosion can I give somebody? They may not die the fastest, but it's still a work in progress. If you guys want to check that out, I will leave it in the top right hand corner as well. So they said they continue to optimize and iterate the function in future planning. They hope that Invincible number 2 will have more detailed recording functions, such as which skill is specific source of damage and exact type of damage of a particular attack. Interesting. Only in this way can the optimizations of help hunters grow. Of course, suppose our assessment indicates that the new season's gameplay has higher requirements for DPS. In that case, they will also access the upper limit of the record and make adjustments accordingly. Alright, not bad. So let's move on to the info panel. So they're adding a display of information on damage over time, which is my godsend. I love DOT builds. and the display of summon skills. So they actually changed the way they actually added stuff onto the info stuff. So it's just those two things that were actually able, so we can basically calculate that as well. So they added a couple other things. So when higher tier fixes appear in the gear crafting process, you'll be asked to double confirm. This will prevent people from accidentally missing out the better crafting result. If the random energy happens to be full during gear empowerment, the energy will no longer be further empowered and the best energy result will be automatically reserved. Minimaps cannot be displayed semi-transparent in the center of the screen, in which will not get an effect in the way of battles, and hunters will not need to open and close them from time to time for navigation purposes. The fourth thing, if you saw a great piece of legendary gear in the trade house, you would need to find out where it came from. The sources of the drops will be available for all base items and legendary gear on the display panel, and for eye care, you can now customize the brightness of skill effects. So that was the optimizations that they were adding to Season 2. So we go back, let's actually talk about Season 2, the main part of. So what it's saying is Haunting Abominations is a brand new Terra spell skill. Unlike other Terra skills, Haunting Abomination needs to be released on the designated enemy and inflict erosion damage to it before a bio area can be created around the enemy. Enemies within the area take constant damage for a period amount of time. The effect of subsequent damage is just based on the first hit damage. So the first hit damage is especially important and needs special attention when developing thy skill. Let's take another look at that real quick. Ooh. Which I actually like. I like the red on it too. Like, can I make a demon build? And of course it's with my boy Yuga. Like, I love Yuga. And which I'm still developing my build, so if anybody who has watched my previous build, definitely be on the lookout for that, because I plan on doing a lot with it. So we now have Blazing Bullet. It's an attack, fire, area, range, projectile, horizontal, which our boy Carino, that may be his main skill. As its name suggests, Blazing Bullet is a projectile skill that specializes in penetrating enemies. The projectile of the skill causes an area explosion when penetrating that enemy, and the range of the explosion expands based on the number of remaining penetration attempts. That's what he said. At the same time, every time the projectile penetrates an enemy, the skill will get an additional damage bonus. So the number of penetrations is also a key development goal. So let's take a quick look at this guy. Yep, our boy Carino, so let's see. Oh, interesting. So it's a multiple projectile fire attack, pretty much. Thunder Slash. Now I saw this on Twitter, which had me very it does remind me of another skill. Yeah, typical strikes, slash strike skill. Sweep slash deals damage in a coned shape area, and the steep strike focuses on a straight line. When you do use the slash strike trigger, a certain amount of multi strikes can give you one steep strike. The bonus to sweep slash chance can be converted to a multi-strike chance, so it may be a good choice to build slashes around multi-strike. Okay. Yeah, I saw this play out. Interesting. Definitely a lot going on. And they have... It's interesting, actually. So it's an attack, lightning, area, melee, and a slash strike. So I could definitely see Rihan using this. They have the newer playable character as well using it. Howling Gale, which I saw this also on Twitter. It's more like a gust of wind. Yeah. So it's like a gust of wind that will generate 2 tactical range, 4 channel stacks equal skill duration, wider skill areas, higher attack frequencies, and faster movements. In the PC version, the Gale will be generated at the position of the mouse cursor, and it follows the movement of the cursor when channeling, hitting wherever you aim at. The experience will be slightly different on mobile, where the Gale will automatically search for enemies. Regardless of which platform you use, the Gale will move towards the enemy by itself when the channeling ends. So let's take a quick look at that. Our boy Yuga once again. Enemies. Ooh, that does. Oh, so if you're on PC, you can actually move the wind. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You can actually move the gust of wind with your cursor wherever it's located. So, and we have Moonstrike, which I'm interested in. Oh, so it's like, yeah, it's definitely it looks like a projectile, but it's not really a projectile. It's just the amount of range of him swinging is what gives it that look. So Moon Strike's also another slash strike that offers 2 attack forms: Sweep Slash and Steep Strike. The skill enters a special buff state after 6 sweep slashes. You can make continuous steep strikes with the state last. Duration of the buff state can be extended by consuming a certain percentage of the max mana. And the mana cost of the skill is calculating the percentage of the max mana. So this is what sets the Moon Strike aside from the slash strike skills. Just like the werewolf will burst with infinite power during a full moon, we hope that hunters can also find pleasure from the explosive power of the Moon Strike. Therefore, the development of the skill basically revolves around the special state, so try to make the state last longer and ensure the supply of mana to maintain the explosive steep strikes. In the addition, the skill has 2 special rules. It adds additional physical damage by 100% of the skill mana cost, and the spell damage bonus and the additional bonus also affect the attack damage of the skill. It'll be up to the hunters to experiment on how to develop these 2 rules. After covering all their skills, they want to talk about these skill adjustments. So they adjusted which was well-deserved by the season. Also, hunters picked up many skills later. Season 1 was definitely the most popular stage. As you slash her skill, the old Whirlwind enjoyed a lot of advantages in mild attack with movement at 360 attack. Those 2 features alone made it in the first choice for most hunters, but it didn't offer rich development slash strike. To balance the essential experience of the Whirlwind and strengthen its strike, they made these adjustments. So now, the new adjusted Whirlwind basically has been tuned down. The default max channel stacks for one was 8 stacks. When Whirlwind reaches the max channel stacks, the 360-degree wind blade is not always performed, instead based on a slash strike chance. A wind blade with higher damage will be released to the nearest enemy. The minimum channel stacks remain essential for the new Whirlwind, and the chance for steep strikes has become more important. Now, I've never used the Whirlwind ability, so I won't know if this is a big heavy hitter or does it play a chance of like, is this a nerf or a buff? You guys let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, that is everything we need to know about season 2. As more information comes out, I will keep you guys updated. Definitely like the video if you guys want to. If you guys enjoyed today's dev blog, it was good seeing you guys today. Definitely subscribe to the channel. Help us out a lot. Help join up the Outcast community. But as always, it's been your host, KSDTV, here at Chaotic Inc. Signing out. Peace.
Just a pipe dream, cause when I write things, I make them manifest. I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up in park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty full time.